Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, I'm your play-by-play commentary host, Chico Rodriguez, as I welcome you to this special video library footage of the Cuban assassin, Richie Acevedo, as you see him in the ring right now, waving the Cuban national flag and rolling it up there. This match is scheduled for one fall, and it puts the Cuban assassin squaring off against none other than adorable Danny Ray, and the official of this match is one Eric Foster. This match takes place up in Clay, West Virginia for Mountain State Wrestling. That's right, from Mountain State Wrestling up in Clay, West Virginia. This match was an historical turning point for the Cuban assassin in his career. As you can see, adorable Danny Ray coming out to the fans at ringside as he's shaking the fans' hands right now, as the Cuban assassin is taunting back and forth inside the square circle. Fans, I'd just like to take the time out to point out that the Cuban assassin is a second-generation wrestler, his father being the original Cuban assassin. Had wrestled down for the World Wrestling Council of Puerto Rico for Carlos Colon, wrestled for WOY TV4 Saturday Night Wrestling. As you can see, as you hear the introductions going out of the way right now, they introduced the Cuban assassin right there, and they're introducing now adorable Danny Ray. As you can hear the fans here, there's the excitement coming out here, as you can hear it right now. They introduced adorable Danny Ray, but like I was saying, the Cuban assassin, and the bell sounds, and this match is official and now underway between the Cuban assassin and adorable Danny Ray. And now you see the Cuban assassin telling the official, Eric Foster, to tell adorable Danny Ray not to pull his so-called stinking hair, as he says. But like I was mentioning earlier, the Cuban assassin, the original Cuban assassin, their father, Angel Acevedo, had wrestled for the World Wrestling Council of Puerto Rico for Carlos Colon. He had wrestled for WOY TV4 Saturday Night Wrestling, hosted by Shirley Love. He also wrestled up in Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling, which is Emil Dupree's territory. Went over to Japan to wrestle over there for IWGP. Come over to Stampede Wrestling for Stu Hart to wrestle over there. As you can see, the Cuban assassin doesn't like the fans booing him here in Clay, West Virginia, as he went over to the table to pick up the Cuban flag, and now using his weapon as the official, Eric Foster, is now playing a tug of war with the Cuban flag and the Cuban assassin here, as he's trying to get the Cuban flag away from the Cuban assassin because it can be used as a foreign object. If he uses this Cuban flag and hits adorable Danny Ray, then he will be disqualified, and adorable Danny Ray would get the victory over the Cuban assassin. But the Cuban assassin's son, Richie Acevedo, which is now the Cuban assassin, he, as you see, adorable Danny Ray shows what he thinks of Cuba as he stomped and wiped his foot on the Cuban national flag, as the official Eric Foster is showing the Cuban assassin exactly what adorable Danny Ray was doing. And now we're having a little bit of a do-si-do here between the Cuban assassin, and now a call over the top between the Cuban assassin and adorable Danny Ray. As he gets into the corner, clean break by adorable Danny Ray. And now the Cuban assassin complaining to the official Eric Foster about pulling of the hair, which we saw no such thing of no pulling no hair, and he's still complaining about pulling of the hair, as the fans are telling the official Eric Foster that the Cuban assassin did not pull adorable Danny Ray did not pull the Cuban assassin's hair. But the Cuban assassin's son here, Richie, he started off his professional wrestling career right after he graduated from Oak Hill High School and went up to Emil Dupree's office of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling back in 1989. And right now at Culver Top, as the Cuban assassin has adorable Danny Ray into the corner. Got a count of 5 to break it. Official Eric Foster giving the standard 5 count, and the Cuban assassin just slaps adorable Danny Ray in the face and then runs out of the ring from adorable Danny Ray, as adorable Danny Ray was pretty well did not like that slap in the face that the Cuban assassin had just done to him right there. And right now the fans taunting the Cuban assassin outside the ring, as the Cuban assassin is now back inside the ring here, as we have this match between adorable Danny Ray and the Cuban assassin, scheduled for one fall. The official match is Eric Foster, as this match comes from Mountain State Wrestling up in Clay, West Virginia. Collar top. Cuban assassin takes adorable Danny Ray into the corner. The official Eric Foster giving the standard 5 count. Cuban assassin goes for a slap, blocks again, and now adorable Danny Ray slaps the Cuban assassin in his face. And now the Cuban assassin's in the corner, Adorable Danny Ray's asking the fans if he should use a closed fist on the Cuban Assassin. Official Eric Foster warning Adorable Danny Ray about using a closed fist, or a closed hand, I should say. And the Cuban Assassin doesn't like being slapped in the face. Turnabout's fair play in my own book. But the Cuban Assassin most certainly did not like that slap in the face. And now the Cuban Assassin telling the fans here at Clay, West Virginia, to keep their stinking mouths shut. I do believe the Cuban Assassin has the world's record on saying the word stink more than anyone else in professional wrestling history. This match takes place back in 2004, as the Cuban Assassin now has a side headlock applied on Adorable Danny Ray. Irish whip off the ropes. Shoulder tackle by the Cuban Assassin onto one, Adorable Danny Ray. And now he's sitting there saying, there he is. Look at him. This is your guy that represents the United States. That's what the Cuban Assassin is doing. He's taunting the fans here of Clay, West Virginia, here in Mountain State Wrestling, as this match takes place in Clay, West Virginia back in 2004, pitting the Cuban Assassin against one Adorable Danny Ray. Right now, Carver top. Applied in the ring, side headlock applied by Adorable Danny Ray onto the Cuban Assassin, and now the Cuban Assassin takes Adorable Danny Ray, shoots him off the ropes. Shoulder tackle by Adorable Danny Ray onto the Cuban Assassin, and now the Cuban Assassin goes outside the ring to take a little quick powder break there because of the one shoulder tackle attempt by Adorable Danny Ray. And now the Cuban Assassin's back in the ring, telling the official Eric Foster that as Adorable Danny Ray was given the shoulder tackle, he pulled his hair. And now the official Eric Foster warning Adorable Danny Ray about pulling the hair, but Danny Ray is telling the official Eric Foster to ask the fans here in Clay, West Virginia, if he was any hair pulling. Of course, I saw no hair pulling, and we know how dastardly this Cuban Assassin can be, like father, like son. The acorn does not fall too far from the tree. And right now, the Cuban Assassin trying to show his biceps, showing what kind of shape he's in as he's getting ready to do a test of strength. Hand clinch, Roman Greco hand clinch with the Adorable Danny Ray here. And the Cuban Assassin, as you can see, he's got his fingers crossed behind his back as the fans are trying to tell him don't do it. And right now, now the Cuban Assassin telling the fans to shut their stinking mouths here in Clay, West Virginia. Once again, this is from the video library vote of the Cuban Assassin's personal library vote. This match pitting the Cuban Assassin Richie Acevedo as he squares up against one Adorable Danny Ray, scheduled for one fall. This took place for Mountain State Wrestling in 2004. The Cuban Assassin, and now Adorable Danny Ray got a double Roman Greco knuckle lock clinch right there, and now they're doing shoulder-to-shoulder test of strength here in the center of the ring here in Clay, West Virginia, here for Mountain State Wrestling. And right now the Cuban Assassin is getting Adorable Danny Ray down to his knees as he's telling the fans here in Clay, West Virginia that he has him, And now Adorable Danny Ray slowly trying to get back up onto his own 2 feet here. Getting the fans right behind him here from Clay, West Virginia, as Adorable Danny Ray's now turning around and putting the Cuban Assassin slowly down onto his knees. And now he's got the Cuban Assassin down, takes the hands and stomps on his hands and knuckles as Adorable Danny Ray shows how smart he is to one Cuban Assassin. And now the Cuban Assassin is being livid. As you can see, there's a lot of hair going on here with the Cuban Assassin. Of course, the Cuban Assassin, Richie Acevedo, changes his appearances later on. About around 2006 is when he started changing his appearances and started donning more of the traditional style wrestling trunks. Of course, the Cuban Assassin, Richie Acevedo, is all about transcending, I guess, and changing for the style. And right now, he's trying to get so Danny Ray that the fans doesn't like him. Now Danny Ray is showing the Cuban Assassin the fans here in Clay, West Virginia are behind him 100%. The Cuban Assassin goes up to do it again. The fans booing the Cuban Assassin here in Clay, West Virginia. Now Adorable Danny Ray comes up in the corner. The fans are cheering Adorable Danny Ray. The Cuban Assassin does not like this from the fans here in Clay, West Virginia. Of course, the Cuban Assassin being from the character and his father being from Havana, Cuba, but Richie Acevedo was born in Patterson, New Jersey, and came and was raised in Oak Hill, West Virginia, as they got a rake of the eyes in the corner there under one Adorable Danny Ray by a forearm to the back of the shoulder blades. Rams his head into the top turnbuckle. Now Adorable Danny Ray goes down on his knees, and now the Cuban Assassin using that middle rope, choking one Adorable Danny Ray. The official Eric Foster tries to get the Cuban Assassin off. Cuban Assassin gets over, close punch to the top of the head of one adorable Danny Ray. Irish whip out of the corner. Reversal by Danny Ray onto the Cuban Assassin. Big hip toss bow out of the corner by one adorable Danny Ray onto the Cuban Assassin. And now the Cuban Assassin goes outside again to take another quick powder break. Now he's asking for a timeout from the official, Eric Foster. But there is no timeout in professional wrestling. The Cuban Assassin just trying to stall for time, and you see some of the fans just taunting the Cuban Assassin here in Clay, West Virginia. That fan better watch it. This Cuban Assassin is known to take care of himself. Right now, the Cuban Assassin just pulls that international illegal foreign object right out of his boot, and now the Cuban Assassin is just walking around the ring trying to keep the official, Eric Foster. You can see that international illegal foreign object right there in the Cuban Assassin's hands as he puts it into his pocket there, and now he holds his head behind his back. And now adorable Danny Ray, hearing the fans telling him that he's got an illegal foreign object, the fans are trying to go up and tell adorable Danny Ray and tell the official, Eric Foster, that the Cuban Assassin has an illegal international foreign object. And Eric Foster, the official, telling adorable Danny Ray that he did not see anything. The Cuban Assassin has got something going on behind his back. And now Eric Foster wants to see what's behind his hand, giving the standard count. Cuban Assassin showing his hand. Looks like he's pulling the old switcheroo, and the fans are trying to try to reach up and grab that foreign object from the Cuban Assassin right there. The fans here at Clay, West Virginia does not like the Cuban Assassin, not at all. Official Eric Foster searching the pockets of the Cuban Assassin. Here's the Cuban Assassin's got that foreign object right there in his hand. You can see it, and he just tucks it right there in his pants. He pulls it right on out again. Now see, that's why the Cuban Assassin should be wearing some type of ring attire or tights instead of having those cami or those battle fatigue pants on, because he has pockets everywhere and can hide that foreign object. Now he pulls it out from the side headlock and rams it into the throat area of one adorable Danny Ray. And the fans were telling the official Eric Foster that he used the foreign object. The Cuban Assassin saying no, he didn't have anything. But the fans here in Clay, West Virginia, trying to show Eric Foster where he has his. Eric Foster is searching the boots of the Cuban Assassin, and right now he did not find anything. And right now the Cuban Assassin getting right on to one adorable Danny Ray and using that illegal international foreign object into the shoulder and throat area of one adorable Danny Ray. The Cuban Assassin is just exactly like his father, the original Cuban Assassin. Of course, he was trained by his own father, the original Cuban Assassin. He was mentored by one Leo Burke and one Rotten Ron Starr, who are legendary wrestlers throughout the history of professional wrestling. And right now, collarbell top inside the ring, side headlock applied by the Cuban Assassin. The Cuban Assassin pulls out that foreign object, rams into the throat again of one adorable Danny Ray. The official Eric Foster checking to see what's going on, asking the Cuban Assassin what's going on here. The Cuban Assassin is telling him that he has nothing. The fans here in Clay, West Virginia, trying to tell the official Eric Foster that the Cuban Assassin has that international illegal foreign object. And right now he wants to search the Cuban Assassin one more time here. The Cuban Assassin trying to show him that he has nothing hidden up in his hair. And now the Cuban Assassin grabs one adorable Danny Ray, gives him a headbutt there in the corner. And now he picks up the adorable Danny Ray by using his hair. Takes him Irish whip off the ropes. Comes back elbow into the throat shoulder area of one adorable Danny Ray, right where he was using that illegal international foreign object. Now he goes up to the second rope, trying to show the fans here in Clay, West Virginia, the American fans here, who's best. Picks up adorable Danny Ray, snap near takedown, reverse chinlock applied by the Cuban Assassin onto one adorable Danny Ray right here in the center of the ring. And now he's got that double face clinch lock right now, just grinding it right there onto one adorable Danny Ray. Is the official Eric Foster checking to make sure that is a legal hold, to make sure that one adorable Danny Ray does not want to give up. The fans are trying to rally behind one adorable Danny Ray here in Clay, West Virginia, here in Mountain State Wrestling. And now we got a elbow to the midsection couple in there. He ducks the clothesline. He ducks the back elbow. Gets met by the knee to the midsection, and over and down goes one adorable Danny Ray right there in the center of the ring as the Cuban Assassin has the upper hand right now in this match. Big stomp by the Cuban Assassin onto one adorable Danny Ray, really taking this man down. Now he's doing a legal choke. Official Eric Foster doing the standard 5 count. He has to count of 5 to break that hold. He'll be disqualified. And right now the Cuban Assassin has total advantage over one adorable Danny Ray. Sits him up gets him down to a sit-down abominable stretch here in the center of the ring right here in Clay, West Virginia. As I tell you, this match comes back from Mount State Wrestling from the year 2004, fans, pitting the Cuban Assassin against one adorable Danny Ray. The official of the match is Eric Foster. I'm your play-by-play commentary host, Chico Rodriguez, and we got a great, exciting match here as we come to you from Clay, West Virginia, with the Cuban Assassin and one adorable Danny Ray. And now the fans getting rallied behind one adorable Danny Ray as the Cuban Assassin has the sit-down indomitable stretch applied upon one adorable Danny Ray. He's got that face clutch right applied upon him now. Danny Ray gets up to his feet, back elbow to the midsection, followed by another one. Comes off, ducks the clothesline, comes over, gives a clothesline of his own onto the Cuban Assassin. Now he's all full of electricity, goes for a cover. 1, 2, only a count of two as the Cuban Assassin kicks out, turns around, and gets met by a clothesline by the Cuban Assassin on the one adorable Danny Ray. And now the Cuban Assassin showing and trying to taunt the fans here in Clay, West Virginia, that he is the best. And now look at that, he just gouges the boots right over the eyes of one adorable Danny Ray there. Grabs adorable Danny Ray, takes him down to using that middle rope as a tag team partner, choking him right there as the official Eric Foster trying to get the Cuban Assassin to break that hold. He comes off the ropes, straddles one adorable Danny Ray on that second rope right there, using that rope as a partner, using that middle rope as a weapon. Taunting the fans, saying he wants to do it one more time as he's choking one adorable Danny Ray. Comes off the ropes, comes back, straddles again on the one adorable Danny Ray, using that rope, that second middle rope, as a weapon, using it to his advantage. And right now he's asking the fans in Clay, West Virginia if he should do it one more time. And now he's got, now look at this, this is coming like a using the bottom rope underneath and choking from the neck down, and comes off the ropes now, comes back, and no, double Danny Ray moves out of the way, and he straddled nothing but the rope. Oh, there goes the family jewels right there. As you can see, the Cuban Assassin feeling that, ruining and pain. Double Danny Ray comes up, comes over, 1, 2, pin attempt, only count of two as the Cuban Assassin kicks out. Now the Cuban Assassin begging one adorable Danny Ray not to get on, and now the fans are right behind one adorable Danny Ray here. And now Danny Ray's getting onto him, getting some close fist punches of his own, getting some retribution, comes up to the second rope here. What's he going to do? He's hitting the top of the head of the Cuban Assassin as the fans are counting behind one adorable Danny Ray here. Is the official Eric Foster trying to get Danny Ray to get the Cuban Assassin out of the corner. The Cuban Assassin is sitting there, as you can see, feeling the effects of that. Comes over. Now Danny Ray, Irish whip out of the corner, reversal by the Cuban Assassin onto Danny Ray into the corner. The Cuban Assassin taking his time, grabs hold of the feet of Danny Ray, slingshots him out of the corner, right onto the back of his head. And now he's saying, look at that, oh, and a low blow by the Cuban Assassin as he distracted the official Eric Foster right there. That should have been an automatic disqualification, as he did that to distract one Eric Foster to get the advantage. Goes for the cover, 1, 2, only a count of two as Danny Ray kicks out right there. And right now the Cuban Assassin thinking it's a 3 count, asking the fans, and they're all saying it's only 2, and he's telling everybody to shut their stinking mouths, including the official Eric Foster. He picks up Danny Ray into an armbar here, picks him up, scoop, body slam by the Cuban Assassin onto Danny Ray right now. And right now the Cuban Assassin is saying it's over. He's saying that it's over, and now he's going to the top. And the Cuban Assassin is going to the top here as he slowly climbs up the top of the rope here. Looks like he's going to go for the Cuban Missile Crisis here. Comes off, and the Cuban Missile Crisis has been averted as adorable Danny Ray moves out of the way, and the Cuban Assassin hits nothing but the mat. And now adorable Danny Ray getting all over one Cuban Assassin right now. Takes him off the ropes, Irish whip off the ropes. Comes over, big back body drop onto the Cuban Assassin by one. Danny Ray falls by an elbow right on the noggin. Covers 1, 2, only count of 2 as the Cuban Assassin managed to get that left arm up. And now the Cuban Assassin gets up to his feet. Thumb to the eye, one Danny Ray. Takes Danny Ray into the corner. Closed fist to the top of the noggin here of one adorable Danny Ray. Eric Foster trying to get the Cuban Assassin to back off. Cuban Assassin shoves Eric Foster out of the way. And now Danny Ray takes Cuban Assassin to the corner, giving some close punches of his own. Eric Foster trying to get these two to break it apart. And now Danny Ray shoves Eric Foster himself out of the way. And now there you go, fans. The Cuban Assassin Out gouges, that's it, my friends. The match is over. This is going to be a double disqualification as both individuals had touched the official, threw him down, threw down Eric Foster. And now you see the Cuban Assassin throwing Danny Ray outside the ring onto the floor. The Cuban Assassin coming outside the ring here. Fans, this is going to be a double disqualification. As this match still going on outside, this is no longer a match. This is a fight. It's the Cuban Assassin and Danny Ray fighting over here to the merchandise table. L is blocked and then throws in the Cuban Assassin in there. Eric Foster trying to get them off. Fans, we can't stick around. We're going to have to get ready to hurt and get out of here. But fans, that's it. Double disqualification. We'll see you again.